Has your agency hit a plateau, not growing like it did in the old days? Trying to figure out what you could do to grow faster? We spoke with agencies who have been there. On compiling data, we've discovered some common failures. And for each failure, we've uncovered learnings from these agencies' time in the trenches. Often, it's the agency founder who gets in the way.
I think initially the reason we didn't scale so fast is because I tried to have control over everything. Oh, I can do the best keyword research. I'm the best at sales. And in reality, there's always someone better than you at whatever role you think you're the best at. And, kind of letting go and trusting your team plays a big role when you want to scale your agency.
The solution here is, of course, to invest in building a team that clears that founder-created bottleneck. Next on the list of roadblocks is poor client retention. Of course, it isn't just enough to acquire clients, you also have to keep them. And in order to do that, your business system and processes, even around client relationships, need to scale as you increase the number of clients coming through the door.
That's really about relationships and having conversations with people. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and have a conversation with the person you're dealing with, understand their challenges, get to know them, make a note of the things they like and don't like and remember it, and look at ways that you can support them further. We've got clients now who were from the old, before I was even involved, and they've stayed with us because of the relationships that we've built. So we've got clients that have been with us since our inception, that have grown as we've grown, because we've always kept that personal relationship. A lot of growth has come from existing clients who bring more and more work to us because they're really happy with what we do. And that then has a knock-on effect if we get referrals and we get a good reputation and we've got great reviews. You have to deliver great service, but the relationships come first.
Another tip from agencies who have navigated this roadblock is to implement a recurring revenue model. How do you turn one-time projects into recurring revenue streams, you may ask? Well, the answer may lie in aligning with opportunities and trends in marketing and marketing-related technologies.
I think one of the ways to get to where we want to go is to have this recurring revenue or some type of retainer work where we can count on a certain amount of money every single month in combination with some of the projects we're doing. I think that it's sustainable and can help us grow over time. And so once we kind of made that decision, we just kind of put our efforts into digital marketing and saying, okay, what services can we provide? How can we provide them? What do we know about this? And that was it. I think we started with our current clients and we approached them and said, hey, I think you could have success with PPC campaign or an SEO campaign and let's try this. And our rates when we started were dramatically different than they are right now, and mainly because it was a new entry point for us. It was like, hey, we have to figure this out, we have to try this, we have to understand what we're doing, and we did.
Stay up to date on the consistently evolving marketing landscape and then sell it for a recurring profit. Your balance sheet will thank you later. A recurring revenue model also increases the valuation of your agency should your team decide to sell.
Well, I started to, evaluate, different, SaaS models, recurring, income models, and not only are they a lot more stable, from an income, base, but they're also valued, at a higher multiple, if one day, I did decide to go in a different direction, right, and sell the company.
However, even if you get all of your ducks in a row in terms of team and retention, bad management creates inefficiencies and also undermines agency culture.
I wish I would have fired my non-performers more quickly. They're essentially stealing from you as the owner, right? Your job as an owner of a business is to make profit. And when you're hiring an employee that doesn't do what they were trained to do, then they're essentially stealing from you, and you could have hired someone else to do that job. So like Nick Saban also says, mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people.
And just like we mentioned before, the agency owner and the management is often the point of failure. Agencies that scale successfully build management teams that clear decision-making bottlenecks and create efficient processes. They are also mindful of creating a positive culture that nurtures and retains talent.
So everyone has monthly one-to-ones in terms of their progression, performance, how they feel about everything, but also it just kind of naturally comes out through the work as well. Like say, in terms of there ends up being someone that's your go-to person because they always seem to have the answer. When there's a challenge, they come up with it. And we've had that with someone who's moved from being an account manager to being SEO manager. Before he became SEO manager, we all called him the SEO wizard because, he naturally became really passionate about that. he studied it in his spare time, he was the go-to person, knew everything that there was to know, and that was just happening. We're going, right, well, we should really all lean into this and give you that responsibility. So it does just naturally happen, and you see where people fit best. And that's something that I really pride ourselves on doing, is trying to, like, once we've got people in the business that we really feel are part of Trio through and through, we want to retain them, and we'll make roles for them, we'll do whatever we need to do, instead of it being this is the box you have to fit in. If you don't fit in it, then you don't fit here anymore. You know, it's very much, we're all in this together, and we'll do what we need to do to get by. And if that then creates a gap, don't worry, I'll fill it. I'll hire someone to fill that gap. You do what you need to do.
While all of these executives had different solutions for different problems, there was one big commonality. They all warned against stubbornly using what worked in the past. For example, in the startup phase, having one go-to person works, but it isn't scalable. And in the early days, an agency may have to take on one-time projects rather than projects that bring recurring revenue, but it isn't as scalable. So now we ask you, what did we miss? In the comment section down below, let us know, what are your personal tips for scaling an agency? If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and hit that bell notification button to stay updated with our future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.